My name is Olia V, and I am a NASM CPT as well as a calisthenics athlete and a mental health enthusiast. I look forward to hanging out with you on YouTube. Hanging out with you here on YouTube. Oh my goodness. Well, hello there. Oh my goodness, I have not done a YouTube video in such a long time. For all of you guys who have been commenting on my most recent video, the romantic and platonic love stuff, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Love hearing your stories and your thoughts on that. It's such a really interesting topic, isn't it? And I did actually have one of you that asked to go ahead and hear about what mine was, right? Because I never actually talked about it. I realized I kind of did, but I mostly talked about what I found out education-wise. So let's get into that. But go and find it because my memory is not great. Going back over here. All right, it's I believe it's TSRIPUN. Thank you so much. I can't pronounce that, but thank you so much for asking about this. So I actually had to dig through my phone, my old phone, to find this because I couldn't fully remember, to be honest with you, what I had written, but I do have it here, and I will go ahead while I'm talking about this, put it in front of me so you can understand what I'm talking about and see it with me. So let's kind of look at it. So obviously on the very end on the left, I have platonic love. On more of the what do you call it, romantic spectrum, and then you have romantic love all the way to the right. At least at the time, this is what I had. On the bottom, you have the sexual interest leader as well, with no sexual interest being at the very, very beginning of platonic love. And then you have high sexual interest, for me personally, in romantic love. So what I started to find out was that towards the beginning with platonic love, I had this surface level recognition, right? So you can recognize whether someone's attractive, maybe I'm just kind of recognizing features like, what do I think of this person, and physically, and then of course you start getting to know them personality wise as well, which plays into that. So obviously as we're moving along this platonic spectrum, for me, right, this is my spectrum. I end up getting a good surface level connection. I enjoy their company, but still considered a friendship, right? And then at some point, it gets towards the middle in between romantic love and platonic love, and I have this emotional attraction that starts to build to people. This is why in my other video I said that I was demisexual, because this is what I find happens a lot of the time with my friendships and my relationships. I actually do have a boyfriend now. At the time I did not, but go figure, I've been with him, I've known him for 15 years plus. We've been friends for a really long time. I can tell you guys that story another time. He actually might be in some of these videos too, which will be really exciting. But as you move forward though, past that middle point, so I have, unconditional love starting to build, right? So let's go on a date, well, at least that emotional attraction, I consider a building of that unconditional love portion to a point, right? Obviously we don't want trauma happening here, but you know what I mean, right? So I would say that this is me being in like with someone, and this is a few years ago, so I'll explain kind of how it might have changed now, but it's pretty much the same, I would say. And as I move forward up there, then obviously then I have a desire to build a life with somebody towards that end point, right, towards the romantic love point. And I realize as on the sexual spectrum below that, I actually have, the recognition of physical attractiveness, but there's really no sexual interest there in the beginning for me. I can notice somebody is attractive and be like, this person's pretty good looking, but I don't want anything else with them. Once that emotional attraction though starts to build for me, that is when I end up having more interest in that person, and I start having a desire to, have sex or any of those types of things. Yeah, and of course that goes all the way to high sexual interest that correlates with that emotional. So that's a really long explanation. Okay, now we're back. Hi. How was looking at the picture? Now we're back. Kind of over here talking about just demisexuality, these different sexualities that can come out of this, right? Some people are asexual and you're going to look different on that spectrum. Some people are going to be bisexual and going to be on that spectrum. And I admit, sometimes I just say I'm bi still, just because it's easier. A lot of people don't know what demisexual is still, so it's okay. And I think you can be both as well, if I'm correct. Let me know. But I did want to add something to this, so, and I'll try to put a marker here too so you know what's happening in this part of the video. I love when people do that on YouTube and tell you what you're looking at throughout the entire thing. This stuff has changed for me. Actually, there's a lot of changes now, 2 years later, more than 2 actually, I think it's like 2.5 now, right? There's been a lot of things that I've done in that time frame and how much I've grown and changed. One of the biggest things that I learned in the last 2 years, and I can talk about this in another video as well, I don't know how many of you have gone through traumatic situations with your families or with relationships, anything like that, but that can change, especially I think when you're growing up, how you view attraction and how you feel empathy and all these other things, whatever. And there was something on TikTok actually that I saw last year. I want to say it was last year. And I was watching a creator, really like that she talks about what she deals with, things like that. Anyway, I was watching her and she said that empaths, normal people, right? She said that we confuse danger, I believe it was danger and recognition with attraction. I think that's what it was. And she was kind of dialing this in more towards what we would call empaths, and I know that's a big thing right now. Oh, empaths, the dark empath. Man, I saw this thing called the Sigma empath. What does that even mean? Can someone tell me what a Sigma empath is? I might have to go watch the video and find out. But yeah, it's a lot of talk, a lot of things going on. But anyway, and I kind of thought about it, and I was like, okay. And what it basically means is that when you see a person, and if you're like me, what would basically happen in my experience is I would see somebody and then zero in on them. It's almost like the zeroing in focus mode on them, right? And you think that person's going to have an impact on me. And that's pretty much what it is. And I always thought that was attraction. So I would end up going towards those people. I would end up talking to them, getting to know them, and come to find either they or me or just both of us, usually both of us, it was just a bad trigger and it would bring out the worst in both parties. And it was a really not a good thing that ended up happening with that. And it took me until last year to really see that with that TikTok, of course, that this wasn't attraction. This was my brain saying, hey, that person may need your help, or that person, you might want to just be cautious, right? Because every single time this has happened, and I'm not saying I don't deal with my own things, I definitely do. I actually have some new diagnosis and fun things like that, but it's okay. But it's more that my brain was picking up that these people maybe weren't as available or weren't as emotionally there as much as I might have needed them to be. And so my brain was saying, hey, be careful. But I took that as, hey, I'm attracted to them. And that's what created a lot of my problems. So that has changed that has made me look at my spectrums a little differently, but overall I would say they're still the same. It's 2 different conversations as well, I think, but it falls into it. Because I still, end up developing an emotional attraction to someone, like my boyfriend who I have right now. He's amazing, wonderful, but we were friends for a really long time, developed that emotional connection, and although physically I find him very attractive, it wouldn't be there if I didn't actually find him mentally attractive. And we're in a very healthy relationship now. And it should be noted that impact feeling, I didn't really get that with him. And it's not to say I didn't feel attracted to him or didn't feel like he was a big deal or something like that, but it was more, how do I explain this? Like, I guess it was more playful and fun and safe. Yeah. And so we actually have our own thing where he came to visit me, and it's whatever. If you guys want to hear about it, let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the spectrums. I'll put them back up really quick so you could check it out. And I actually do have a I made a specific one with my old branding that I had, so now I'm Olya V Fit. I did switch my name around. We can talk about that another time as well. That you can actually fill in your own spectrum. If you guys would like, I can go ahead and do that, and you can download it or something like that, and let me know. I'd love to see kind of what you're working with, and how you feel. Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Let me know if you want to hear anything else. I mean, I love this topic. I think it's super cool. I think that humans are multifaceted, and I think it's awesome that there's so many different types of people in the world. Anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day, and let's make it a great one.